So once again we're wing on wing and looking at the sunset on our fourth day. So far so good really. I mean, since fixing the or jury rigging the gooseneck, seems to have lasted. That's over 24 hours now with some not windy weather. I've never had to reef yet. Reese has told me that there's next Sunday, so this day 1 week time, that there's a potential system moving down from Greenland and sitting over Scotland, and that the forecast in Irish coastal waters is pretty rough looking, sort of 40 knots and 4.5 meter seas. So that's kind of, it's you know, it's over a week out. You know, you told me that yesterday. That was Saturday to the following Sunday. So there's absolutely no guarantee that that is going to be the case. It's also possible that it could arrive sooner, it could arrive later, it might not arrive at all. So, but it's something in my mind that puts a kind of a, I need to get in by Sunday, really by Saturday afternoon or evening. Might as well plan for that in order to give myself an average speed that I need to be hitting. So that average is about 4 knots. This was always going to be the most tough passage, even apart from the breakage. There's uncertainty around what weather you'll get when you get to Ireland in late August. You know, you could have perfectly nice weather, you could have flat calms, or you could have really, really, really stormy weather, like a potential for quite destructive storms. So you just roll the dice and take your chance to a certain extent.
I'm just kind of on the same latitude as La Rochelle, Bordeaux kind of area in France, but obviously quite a long way offshore still. That's that's like almost 1,000 miles away. It's 855 miles away. Again, I am expecting the wind to go around to the northwest over the next while, so I'm coming up here rather than going a straight line, so I'll have a better angle when the wind does go around to the northwest, and especially if it changes to the north later. When I left to cross Biscay, I sailed along this shelf, which was pretty awful. Like, it's only about 100 meters deep, and there was just fishing boats everywhere and really rough seas. So I'm avoiding that for the most part this time by coming up and out. The more rumline route crosses it more directly, but this route that I'm taking, because of the northwesterlies, will avoid some of that, which is great.
So I just got a great weather update from Reese, which is the low that we were expecting to push through next Sunday, so in a week's time, is now forecast not to affect the southwest coast of Ireland. So that's great news. It takes a bit of the time pressure off, because I had really thought, you know, had to keep the average up above 4, which sounds straightforward, and it would be on most passages, but this passage, the wind's just been so variable that it meant there were decisions to be made every time the wind died around whether to motor or whether to just sit through it. So we have 564 miles done, or sorry, to go, and 564 miles done, so we're exactly halfway distance wise. I'm hoping the second half will be a bit quicker than the first half, because of, you know, a day and a half without a mainsail slowed me down quite a bit. So I've heard from the other boat that's doing this passage at the same time as me, Angia, skipper Dave, and my mum is also actually one of the crew on board that boat. They were originally heading for Cork Harbour. I was originally heading for Baltimore, thinking that I would probably go and join them in Cork Harbour after closing the loop, but they've just let me know that they're going for Dingle. So that actually suits kind of well, because it's actually strange to think about it, but from where I am right now, there is Baltimore roughly around here. Dingle is actually closer, weirdly. So it doesn't seem that way in my head. I would have thought Baltimore would be way closer than Dingle, but because we're coming in from the west, Dingle is closer. So Dingle is going to be my destination back in Ireland, and my first sight of Ireland is probably going to be the Skelligs. So yeah, very, very, very exciting. I love Dingle, and I'll be even tempted to leave my boat somewhere around there for the winter, and live on board potentially. We'll see. So beautiful evening here at around 47 degrees north, 20 degrees west or so, roughly level with Brittany in France, and like 300 or 400 miles offshore of Ireland. What a beautiful evening. 4 more days of this will be very nice. A bit more wind. It's starting to die now. It is forecast, but I wonder, should I go wing on wing? I probably should. Someone's getting light enough to put the electric autopilot on. So we're just finishing up day 7, a week at sea again, and yeah, as you can hear, I'm motoring. It's pretty flat calm.
and has been since around 8 p.m. last night. It's around 8:30 in the morning now. So it's forecast to stay calm for the next until tomorrow morning, basically, so another 24 hours. But that will take us up to within 300 miles of Ireland. The wind is supposed to fill in on Wednesday morning from the north-northeast, which will be a pretty close haul course to Dingle, I think. But that's fine, you know, we'll start making a bit of progress. All we have to do is average 4 knots and we'll be in on Saturday morning. There's a huge whale out there, absolutely enormous. Just surfaced really, really slowly. I didn't really manage to capture that, but yeah, 2 really, really, really big whales. I think one of them was the largest I've ever seen, just about 150 meters away from the boat. More dolphins. I wonder if these guys are Irish. So many of them. So this is where we are. This purple line here is Irish coastal waters, or Irish territorial waters. And as you can see, we're about maybe 40 miles from that, 50 miles from that. So the wind's properly filled in now and we're flying along on a beam reach in lovely sunshine. We're 250 miles from the Irish coast. If we can keep up any average over 4.8, we'll come in Friday evening, so that'll be brilliant. That'll be basically 10 and a bit days for the passage if that happens. My mum and Dave and Merle are getting in on Angia probably tomorrow lunchtime, so I would be, you know, maybe 30 hours behind them, which sounds about right based on where I was the last time I had a position update from them. So that's good going, you know. Like I said before, they're a 42-foot boat with a much more aggressive setup than mine, so to stay within a day or two of them is pretty good going, especially given my gooseneck troubles. It's a weird one. The passage is coming to an end, the trip is coming to an end, and my year is coming to an end, and it doesn't seem real yet at all. But I do have another week and a half off work, so that's good. Like, I'll be getting back to Ireland and I'll have a full week off before starting work, so that's kind of positive, I guess. Beautiful sunset. 217 miles to go. Very excited, but you know, another 48 hours probably. We'll see if this wind holds up. You just never know at night. It can die very quickly and not really recover till the morning. So we shall see. But there's like very little wave action. It's nice sailing. This is a giant cruise ship. I've not actually passed one at sea before, but we're 200 miles offshore of Ireland, and there's a cruise ship coming from the direction of, I'm not sure, possibly Iceland, and down towards the English Channel. It's going to cross about a mile in front of me. So a lot of motoring there to start the day. There's plenty of wind, but it was just too far off the bow and not quite strong enough to make the sort of speed that I wanted to. I want to get in tomorrow night, basically. That's the goal, and with that aim in mind, I've been motor sailing all morning. And I have plenty of diesel, so just thought I might as well just go for it, really. And if we drop down below 4.5 knots, I'll just start the engine again, I think, just to get in and get settled. So. And yeah, I haven't really had time to focus on what this all means. It's very strange to be sailing into Ireland from a long distance away. You know, the only time I've arrived in Ireland by boat has been when sailing back from Scotland or Wales. So this is unusual, you know, to have a long passage finishing in Ireland feels bizarre and really, really cool, actually. So
yeah, that's it then. That's a year Atlantic circuit. 13, yeah, more than 13 months since leaving Baltimore and sailing around the Atlantic and back. And really, the fact that the most major breakage that I've had is the so far still have 24 more than 24 hours to go. So far, the most major breakage I've had is the gooseneck on this passage. Has been pretty amazing, really. Like, and to not require any major works and everything that needed doing, I was able to do it myself. Has been, yeah, it's been good. I've learned a lot, and I think I've grown a fair bit as a sailor over the course of the year. And definitely as a single-handed sailor, I have a lot more experience now of long passages. I'll probably do another video just about like a bit of a reflection on the year and what worked and what didn't work in terms of the boat and in terms of just the setup for traveling, etc. And I'll probably do a cost breakdown as well, just to, like, if anybody's planning on this kind of thing, which I highly recommend. It's so much fun and very doable. I mean, you take it in chunks. Like, the thing that had always worried me was the west to east crossing. So it's kind of crazy to be 100 miles away from completing a transatlantic from the Caribbean to Ireland, west to east, and yeah, to be nearly done with it, and all the fears I had of storms and horrible weather, and maybe I'm just very lucky. Maybe it was the year that was in it, but I haven't really had any kind of bad weather at all, really, which I guess we'll talk about when I do a bit more of a summary. But so it's about 11:30 at night. Well, I hope will be my final night. All going well, it should be. I'm totally close-hauled here, and I'm trying to the wind is coming from the north, so on a port tack. So I'm trying to make sure that I make the entrance to Dingle Bay. What I don't want to do is be set south into the next bay down. Bantry? No. Kenmare River. I really want to make sure I do make the Dingle Bay. That just means that at the moment I'm having to go completely close-hauled and try and make up some ground to windward, just in case the wind goes further around, which it is sort of forecast to do on some of the things I'm seeing. So very uncomfortable because it's very gusty. Yeah, I should have been banking a bit earlier on when we had more northwesterly wind. I should have gone up this way, and I should be around here now, and then I'd be able to bear away a bit. But anyway. Hopefully we'll make it in. If there's a good thing to be said for it, at least it's not cold. Just kind of sheets of rain. I can't believe I'm nearly there. Seeing all these seabirds that I haven't seen in a year, really, gannets and storm petrels and just your classic seagulls. And there's dolphins everywhere, but they haven't really come over to me yet, but they're around. So, coming up to the end of day 10, and we have 40 miles to go. This bank of clouds ahead of me is County Kerry, which is pretty typical that it would be kind of closed in like that, but it is forecast to clear up a little bit in a little later in the day. It's only 8 o'clock in the morning, so hopefully it'll brighten up a bit and we might see land prior to arriving in the bay. Just picked up my first Irish weather forecast on the VHF there, so that's an exciting sign that we're getting close to land. And there's a small craft warning in place, which just means it's force 6 basically. So I kind of knew that this morning. It was definitely gusting up to 6 fairly frequently. And what a bit of land to sight! It's one of the Skelligs, I think. Skellig Bheag, the smaller of the two. Not Skellig Michael. It's the other one. So excellent. That's the first bit of land I've seen of Ireland for the last 13 months. Beautiful one to come back to. Sailing into Dingle Bay at the moment. We've another couple of hours to go till we're in the bay proper. These are the Blasket Islands just to the north of Dingle Bay. And down here we have the Skelligs, Skellig Michael and Skellig Bheag, or Little Skellig. Nice sporty way to end off this passage with a bit of upwind sailing. And Saphira's flying along, heavily reefed. triple reef main and pretty rolled away head sail. Could probably get that in a bit more. We're not quite fully upwind, but we're kind of close hauled enough. So the waves are going down a bit as we get into the shelter, the shallower water around the islands. The wind is coming up though, but that's okay because we're fully reefed anyway, and we kind of need the wind to drive us in. Minke whale just came up right next to me. Hope he comes up again. He was only maybe 20 meters away. That was amazing. It's never quick enough to catch these things on camera. Roughly 2 hours to go and I'll be I'll be home. Weird. So weird. I feel like I've really got somewhere different. Like, I mean, the Azores felt like this as well, you know, and Bermuda to a certain extent, but here all the seabirds are different, the dolphins all look different, everything is just like Ireland. When you're used to sailing around in lower latitudes, coming back up to Ireland, you feel like you've come really far north, and you feel like you're just on the edge of the world, in a really kind of remote, rugged kind of place. We're just used to it, but it is a remote, really far north kind of a place, and it's bizarre to come so far north back up to it. Nearly there now. Just have to get the sails down, which is always a challenge in windy conditions, and then the gap is just ahead of us where that sailboat's coming out. So yeah, super excited to get in and go for a pint. Celebrate completing a transatlantic circuit. Not quite there yet, but 15 minutes. Sails are down, the engine's on, and we're motoring in a gap into Dingle Harbour. Yeah, it's funny, like I thought I'd have a load to say, or I thought I'd have loads of summing up to do or whatever, but I'll probably make a separate video just summing up the year, because I don't know how to feel about it right now. I think I've said this before on another passage, but I just feel a bit exhausted and not sure how to take it all. I mean, I've just completed a transatlantic circuit single-handed, so that's kind of nuts, like, and yeah. That was a bit of a challenging passage, that, with the breakages and everything, just mentally difficult, but I mean, like, I got through it, and definitely feel like I've learned much more on that passage than I possibly have in all the other ones put together, just in dealing with setbacks, proper setbacks. Like, this is where Fungi, the dolphin, used to hang out, just exactly here. This is my first time in Dingle when Fungi hasn't been here. It's quite weird. Yeah, R.I.P. Fungi. Nice little break in the clouds for coming in, which is lovely. How's it going? Just this one right here? This one, yeah. Okay, perfect.
The normal course and back finishing at the start finishing line. So you're going out to the red drum and the...
Fantastic.